I will take help of my coworker, colleague, Joseph Shaw. Joseph, are you there? Can you see me, hear me?
Yes, Debbie, loud and clear. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, I do can. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Good. So all yours, Joseph. Why don't you do the honors and tell us who's the next speaker and moderate.
Awesome. Thanks, Debbie. So very excited to be here and glad to be participating here in T6. Our next guest recently joined PenFed Credit Union to lead efforts centered on innovating and optimizing the member digital mortgage experience. So prior to joining PenFed, this individual has helped everyone from Capital One to Colonial Savings with over 2 decades of mortgage experience. I'm thrilled to welcome Bryson Hammond to our virtual stage. So Bryson, thank you for being here. Hopefully you can turn on your camera and we can see you. I don't know if the host has given you access to do that yet.
They have. I don't have access to that, Joe. I keep trying to connect it, and it says unavailable. So if somebody can help me with that, that would be awesome.
I will take care of it right now, my friend.
Thank you.
And so while Brad is taking care of that, and you're looking to get the camera turned on to put a face with the name for the audience here, I know I just gave you a quick intro, but if you could take a minute to really let the audience know how you got to where you are today, Bryson, that would be helpful. I had the opportunity to hear you explain your background a few months back in a meeting we were at together, and it was pretty interesting. I think the audience would take a lot out of it. So if you would take a minute just to give your background there, that'd be really helpful.
Absolutely. How far back? Like elementary school back, high school? No, hopefully you can see me now. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, thank you for having me. Yeah, my background, I started, like you said, in my teen years, and I started actually in operations. So I grew up processing and underwriting loans. That's where I cut my teeth in the industry. Did that for the first 15, 17 years of my career. And then about 7 years ago, I said, gosh, we have done such a job on this process, whether it be through regulation, through requirements, guidelines, et cetera, that we have actually, we've made it so filled with friction that I wanted to make it my career mission, a goal of mine, to transition over and start to unpack some of that, right? So I think what you get with me and what you get with my take on the business and on the industry is, I understand the pain points. I understand them firsthand. I also understand technology though, and I understand where technology sits. So I try to really merge those two areas together as I talk about and develop solutions for our members at PenFed.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, Bryson. The transition trying to make right now into automation for optimization, just as far as the topic goes, I know that means different things to different people in the mortgage world, and hoping you could kind of share with the audience here what that means to you.
Absolutely, and you really keyed in on it. I think when we hear optimization or AI as part of this, right? Different words, different pictures come into everybody's minds. For me, for some folks, it's document. It's about document intelligence. It's about OCR. For others, it's about use of third-party data sources, and others, it's about using, their known information about a customer. For me, it's really a combination of all three. So as I think about, the expansion and where we're going from an optimization perspective, it really becomes, where might you leverage existing information that about a customer, right? If you're a financial services institution, our customers, our members, they have an expectation that we know them, right? That we know who they are when they come knock on our door. There's also a ton of third-party data sources available out there as well. So it's thinking through what are those third-party partnerships that we should be thinking about to augment or help our data picture, our development. Documents, absolutely a piece of it. I think we all had this idea, 5, 6, 7 years ago that at this point, in the mortgage process and the mortgage industry that we would have completely eradicated documents. Not so yet. I've been listening today. It sounds like we're on that path, we're on that journey, if you will, inching towards it. But documents are still a piece of it. So how might we leverage those, the different data sources to create an experience that removes friction for our members, right? For the consumer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And so on that same theme, could you share with the group here, why lenders should be focused on automation while optimizing the member or borrower digital experience? I know you're charged with that at PenFed right now, so hoping you could share kind of why folks should be focused on that.
I mean, pandemic aside, right? Pandemic changed everything for everyone. But even before that, the expectations of our members, right, of consumers and other verticals, the things you can do from your phone and the quickness that you can do them by, the ordering of things, the buying of things, the signing of things, right? All of that, it's no longer a, hey, that's a really cool technology and that's really cool that such and such organization has leaned into that as a thing. It's now become, that is the expectation, right? That is the thing that consumers require. So I feel like you cannot wait, right? We cannot wait. We have to continue to lean into it.
Great. And so what are some of the common challenges a lender faces while incorporating that automation into the lending process? We know they should be focused on it, and doing that, obviously there's challenges along the way. What are some of the more common challenges that you feel a lender faces while doing that?
In one of the earlier sessions, Joe, they talked about the maturity of integrations, the maturity and connecting things together. That is very true, right? That is a very true statement. But I would say the other piece to that, right, or the piece that I have seen as lenders as we're on this journey, is we get busy, right? We get busy with the problem that we're focused on that day, right? And finding a solution to that problem. So it's more of a bottoms up incremental approach. Joe, you know me, we've spent a lot of time together. I am hey, let's step back, let's zoom out. Let's create that end state or next state, right? And I think lenders would really benefit from doing that exercise, right? What is that end state, that next state, whether it's by channel, by market, by borrower segmentation, whatever, but get it on a piece of paper, right? Put it down, look at it, and then work backwards from there, right? Structure work, structure internal projects, investments around that vision, around that end state, right? You have to be building with that in mind. Otherwise, what I have found is you're building a patchwork and you're building incremental, controversial word here perhaps, but you're building technical debt, right? Because you're too busy fixing for the one thing that's in front of you versus the greater good of the entire process.
Gotcha. And so that kind of leads into the next question I have here for you, which is, having done this for a while, Bryson, kind of what's the best advice you'd give to an organization that's looking to optimize its lending process by way of automation?
So, first off, again, it's getting centered on what is the outcomes. What are the outcomes for your organization? What is that next state process, right? Once you have that in mind, it is about choosing the right partnerships and developing with organizations that keep your outcomes and your outcomes in mind, right? Unfortunately, fortunately, I'm not quite sure what word to use there for our industry, is no one solution has solved for everything, right? There is still a need, and I think this came up in an earlier conversation as well, to play a bit of Tetris, right? To put solutions together, to create that journey, to create that end state. And while we're on that journey, it becomes about partnering with the right partners who have your roadmap in mind, who care about your outcomes and are helping you on that journey. There has to be alignment between the organizations in that, alignment and roadmap, alignment and philosophy, dare I say, to really propel this work forward.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's great. And so I know we're up on time right now. So Bryson, I just wanted to say thank you very much. It was a fantastic conversation we were just able to have there. So I appreciate you being part of this, and looking forward to seeing all the great things you and the PenFed team do. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you so much, Bryson. Thanks, Joe.